Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. We got the Ravens versus Lions this Sunday, 1 o'clock at the bank. This is the preview episode. We'll also do another giveaway where I ask a random question somewhere in this video. Just comment your answer. Closest answer wins, and I'll send the winner $50 right after the game. Just check your YouTube replies. But let's dive into it. We're starting with the trenches, which is probably the most important factor for both teams and kind of always is the most important factor. If you can win the trenches, especially on both sides of the ball, you probably have a really good chance of winning that game. And I don't think it's any different for this game. And both teams have really stud lines offensively and defensively. Lions' run defense is allowing the least amount of rushing yards, and they are second in yards per carry. So really, really stout run defense. And we've been struggling to run the ball a little bit. Our offensive line has not been run blocking anywhere close to what they've been in the past few years. And that does create less holes. But that's why I was saying we need to go get a back that can make his own plays, because we just don't have that guy right now. But anyways, regardless, we're facing the hardest run defense that we've had to play all year long. And it's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. We're going to probably struggle to run the ball in this game. Now, we may see some more Keaton Mitchell, which is an X factor, I think. He brings an explosiveness and a home run hitting ability that I don't know if we have elsewhere. You could say Justice Hill, but I think that turf toe is battling him a little bit, and he's not quite the explosive Justice Hill that we've seen before. He's still good, don't get me wrong. Like, we're still getting some production, but we're not getting a lot of production out of this run game. And I think it's going to be really important because we can't succeed in a game being one-dimensional, especially when we're down in the red zone on the 1 or 2 yard line. We need to be able to punch that in, and we're going to have to do that in this game. So I think this is a really important battle that the Lions right now on paper have an edge in. They have a stout run defense, and our rushing attack is okay, but I think it's even inflated because Lamar gets a lot of yards doing his thing. So just pure traditional running, we're not doing that well this year. So our O-line's going to have to bring it this game, run blocking and in pass protection. They've just been doing well in pass protection. That's why I didn't bring it up as much, but the Lions are getting just as much pressures as we are. So, I mean, the Lions, the whole front is bringing it week after week. So our line's in for a day, and we're going to have to hold up. I believe we have the guys to do it. I mean, they're playing better week after week. We obviously didn't have a healthy core until last week. So now hopefully we can build upon that, and this line can get even more comfortable. Stanley's starting to play a little better. We got Moses back. He's playing well. I would say our weakest part of the line right now is probably left guard John Simpson. But other than that, Linderbaum's playing great. Zeitler's playing really well. Like, we have the guys to be able to go out there and put an incredible performance together. I'm just saying we're going to have to bring it because this is the most stout, successful front that we've faced yet. On the flip side, we have a top 10 run defense, and we have the most sacks in the NFL. And I think the key to the Ravens defense is stopping their run game. Now, they don't have Montgomery, which is a big loss. He's been a big factor for them this year. They are getting Gibbs back, who is very explosive. And from my understanding and what Dan Campbell said, Gibbs is in for a big workload. Now, that could also mean in the pass game, too. He's versatile. He can do both. But we have to slow their run game down and make them more one-dimensional and then get pressure on Goff. I mean, that's just the key to win this game. That's a key for our defense to play really well, is to pressure Goff, make him very uncomfortable because their offensive line has been playing incredible. Their offensive line is playing better than our offensive line. So, and I think that's a big reason for their success. Obviously, Goff's making really good decisions and making that offense flow, but their offensive line is giving him time, and their offensive line is creating a lot of great holes in the run game. And just to expand upon that and get into the next segment here, their passing attack is also lethal. They're successful on the ground, but Goff's making that show work downfield as well. They got Ahmad St. Brown, who's just a nightmare to deal with. He plays in the slot, so I'm not sure if we're pulling Humphrey over to kind of follow him around a little bit, or if we're just going to keep playing our traditional defense. But it scares me that they're going to create a lot of mismatches with St. Brown in that slot if we don't have Humphrey kind of jumping in there. We've been playing a lot of Arthur Mullet in the slot. I don't think he has what it takes to cover St. Brown. I think St. Brown has a big day. That's why I think it might be smart to pull Humphrey over. Having a guy like St. Brown, having a route runner, and a smart football player like St. Brown in the slot can be a big problem if you aren't focused on it. So I think that needs to be focus one in the pass game. Obviously, like we just talked about in the trenches, bringing pressure to Goff is extremely important. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that. We have the most sacks in the NFL right now from a variety of guys. It's not like one guy's dominating. I would say if we're just talking pure pass rusher, Jadeveon Clowney's probably been playing the best. We are getting Odafe Owe back this week, most likely, and I think that'll be an incredible addition to this pass rush rotation. His speed, athleticism is going to be useful. So I think that's a big get for us, but we're probably going to be without Marcus Williams in the back end, which then creates less versatility for Kyle Hamilton to be able to move around. So I think Kyle Hamilton might be playing the back end a little bit more with Geno Stone, and we won't see as many blitzes just because we don't have the safety to go back there. And then not only St. Brown do you have to worry about, they also have Jamison Williams, who came back. He scored a touchdown last week. He's a huge speed threat. So you're going to keep your eyes on him, play smart downfield, make sure that you always know where he's at because he can break the game open quick. We haven't faced a guy with that much speed this season yet. He's getting a couple weeks in this offense. I feel like he could be getting involved more, so he's something also to keep an eye on. And then Gibbs out of the backfield in the passing game. We talked about the running game in the trenches, but they use Gibbs in the passing game, and I think this game you could see a lot of that. So short passes to Gibbs, the linebackers are going to have to be on it. I trust that we have the linebackers to do that. I mean, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen are probably playing the best linebacker football in all of the league right now. So it's easy to trust those guys, but I'm just saying this offense has a lot of weapons and they're playing really well. There's a lot to key on. We have the defense to do it. Our defense is no joke. We keep talking about how the Lions are the best offense that we've played yet and things like that. Well, I bet you we're the best defense they've played. So it's going to be a great matchup. Let's head to the Ravens offense. We already talked about how important getting the ground game going is, how important getting the running backs involved in, the offensive line, run blocking. But what also is very important for us to have a lot of success in this game is Odell Beckham Jr. and Rashod Bateman getting involved more, producing. I'm not saying I don't want to blame them individually. They're not on the field a ton, And especially when Odell's on the field, he is making some plays. He's just playing 30% of the snaps. So can we see them a little bit more? I don't know if we're preserving them because of their injury history and their recent injury history. They just came back to football a couple weeks ago. So are we preserving them? Are we easing them in? Or do they just not have it? We already have Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews producing week after week. Lamar's playing really well. Aguilar is involved as he should be kind of in his role. I think he's doing well too. But the missing pieces of this offense, and especially the way that we can kind of become unstoppable and unlock a new level, is if Bateman and Odell are playing at a high level. If we have those guys playing at a high level along with Zay and Mark, then Lamar can kind of go anywhere. There's mismatches all over the field. But right now, Odell and Bateman are kind of slow. They're getting locked up. They're not making plays. And that's a problem. You know what I mean? Because now the attention can shift to Zay and you can kind of just man up Odell and Bateman and not have to worry about it. And that was before this season started, and I know it was on paper. Obviously, we're watching it really play out now. But before this season started, we were so excited about this offense, and I still am, but I was so excited because I was like, there's no way you can cover all these guys. It's impossible. Somebody's left on an island. Somebody's left with a serious mismatch. You can't cover all four of those weapons out there. But Bateman and Odell aren't out there a lot, and when they are out there, aren't consistently beating their man. So that's an issue. That limits our offense by 40, 50%. I mean, Zay and Mark are producing as they should. Zay's probably above expectations, and we had really high expectations, but this guy's on pace to be a 1,000-yard receiver his rookie year. He's no joke. We hit on Zay for sure. But we need that Odell and Bateman. Just make a couple plays. Just get a big touchdown or a couple big third down conversions. I don't need you to jump to going off for over 100 yards every game or anything. Like, obviously, that'd be cool, but I'm just saying more than one catch for 10 yards or 3 catches for 25 yards. I mean, like, let's get more involved. Let's get the ball to these guys if they're open. I mean, it's on them too to beat their man. It's on Todd Monken to scheme them open. It's on Lamar to have the chemistry with them to get him the ball. But I'm just saying, if we could get more production from Odell and Bateman, especially in this game where I think we're going to have to score points, this offense will take another step forward and unlock to a new level. And if we can have everybody producing at a high level, I mean, I'm telling you, this offense is unstoppable. And that leads me to the question of the day. How many total yards will Lamar Jackson have? Passing and rushing combined. Total yards for Lamar Jackson. Drop your comments below. Winner gets $50 right after the game. Good luck. And the last point, which is probably an obvious one, the Ravens have to increase their red zone efficiency. We were pretty solid for the first 4 weeks. And then week 5 and 6, we absolutely tanked against the Steelers and Titans. Could not score in the red zone. And it was a huge problem in the Steelers game. Obviously, missed a ton of opportunities there. Ended up losing that one. We got away with it in the Titans game, but we kicked 6 field goals. And if you just score on 2 or 3 of those, that game's a whole different game. We got 30-plus points. We're cruising. So that's how close this offense is to just putting up a ton of points and really, really putting it on some teams. And I think they have an opportunity to finish those plays this game. I think they could struggle in the run game, but our pass game should have some success if Lamar can get some time. Obviously, the Lions pass rush pretty good. Aiden Hutchinson's no joke, and their run defense is stout, and we haven't been running the ball with a ton of success, so I'm not expecting our run game to just take life, but if Lamar can get some time, which I believe he can, our line, we do have the guys to pass protect. And Lamar's going to be able to make some plays downfield. It obviously goes back to Odell and Bateman, and we need more guys to step up and beat their man and really win their battle and go make a play. But there's going to be opportunities in this game to move the ball through the air. And once we get into the red zone, because we have been moving the ball. We've been moving the ball through the air. I mean, we were zipping up and down the field on Pittsburgh. You know, even the Titans last week, we were moving the ball no problem until we got to the red zone. And all week long, the coordinators have been talking about it. Lamar's been talking about it. We're well aware that there's some red zone issues in the past few weeks that have came up. And there's some second half slacking issues. We play a really good first quarter, first half, and then the second half we come out flat. None of that can happen in this Lions game. We have to score in the red zone. We have to finish drives. And we're not going to be able to take a second half off. You know, we got to play a full 60 minutes. This is the game that we go out there and we prove with focus that we can show up for all 60 minutes, 4 quarters, play the game, finish in the red zone, and we're going to win this game. So let's jump into the score predictions. I think this game is going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of big plays. It's going to be a tight game. Really, really good teams going at it. I got the Ravens 28, Lions 24. I think it's a tight game. Lions get the ball at the end of the game, but they're down 4, and I just don't think they can get in the end zone. I think our defense holds, and we win 28-24. It's just my prediction. Obviously, anything could happen, but I'm expecting a great game. We need the fans at the bank to be loud. If you're going to this game, better leave with no voice. We need that place rocking. Terrell Suggs is getting inducted into the Ring of Honor at halftime. So I'm sure he's going to come out of the tunnel and maybe have a mask on or something and get that place going. So it's going to be a hell of a game. I'm excited. But let me know your thoughts. What are your predictions? Hopefully you heard the giveaway question. Drop your answer to that. and just give me your predictions for the game. What do you think is going to happen? If you're a Lions fan and you want to dive into some more detail about certain guys or what you expect to happen, feel free to comment as well. I appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.